What's up, everyone? All right, so here we are, Thursday morning, 4th day of October, finishing the day up $4,883. Green is good. Finally, the wind is at my back, and we're getting some momentum in the market. Where's my remote? I gotta have the green lights turned on here. All right, so let's see. There we go. Green, feeling good. I'm loving it. You know, this is finally what I needed. I'm up about $12,500 this week. And just like that, in 4 days, I've made more than I made all of last month. It's crazy how, when the market's hot, you can just really stack up those profits. And when the market's slow, it doesn't matter if you trade 8 hours a day. If there's nothing moving, if there's not enough volatility, you're not going to make anything. So, you got to be able to be patient. Last month, I was patient. I took it slow, and instead of being aggressive and digging myself a hole, I just kept making small profits. And now the market's hot, I'm picking up the share size and making some really good gains. So we'll break it down, today's midday market recap. As usual, any questions, any comments, leave them below. I'll come back through and answer them later today. All right, enjoy. All right, everyone, so we're going to do our midday market recap here, just a couple minutes before 10:30. So we're at the end of the first hour of trading. I traded today for 25 minutes and made $4,883 and actually $4,882.98. So a nice green day for me. This has been a great week. I'm up about $13,000 on the week. And one of the things that I said or mentioned to you guys earlier was the fact that and John pointed this out, that this is where the last 2 months of being patient and waiting for really good quality setups now is paying off. Keeping losses small. So for the last 2 months, the market has been choppy, no doubt about it. I didn't make a lot in August. I didn't make a lot in September. But what I did a good job of was not digging myself a hole. Because in the past, during a choppy market where we weren't seeing good follow through, what would be very common for me would be to take a few big trades, get aggressive, have a couple $4,000 or $5,000 losses, and when you have 3, 4, 5, or 6 of those, suddenly you've got a hole. And I've had a hole as deep as $22,000, $25,000 that I then have to spend the next couple weeks digging myself out of. I mean, even in a hot market like this, making $12,000, $15,000 a week, that's great. But if I had a $20,000 hole, I would only be halfway out of it, right? So, this is where learning to, throttle back when the market is slow and then go back and put the pedal to the metal when it's hot is so critical for your long-term success. Just because, it just creates such a sense of kind of disappointment and frustration when you do dig yourself a really big hole and you got to spend weeks getting out of it. This is my cumulative drawdown here. So this is, my P&L of trading for the last 3 years. And if I zoom in here on the cumulative drawdown, you can see, so basically this is, like right now, I'm at all-time highs. I'm literally at all-time highs. But down here, this little dip, this little dip, this dip, this dip, these are what you would call drawdowns. It's the drawdown off of your all-time highs. So in terms of actual dollar amount, you can see back in 2016, my drawdowns weren't that bad. $4,000 down, and then I'm back up. Got a little bit bigger as I started getting more aggressive in 2017, taking more size. So here's a $13,000 drawdown. There's a $20,000 drawdown. 17,000, 22,000, 19,000, 12,000. This was August, and this is the month of September was really good. So obviously I after sort of seeing this trend, I was like, you know what? This is not really a good direction for the drawdowns to be going. I am concerned that if I keep going this way, it's going to just keep getting bigger and bigger. You see it going across my other monitors. So I was like, at some point, I've got to cap the drawdown. Obviously, this is in conjunction with this curve going up more and more and more because I've been more aggressive on my share size. So 16 was more like this, had a little period of flat, and then I started to really open up. So It is part of the nature of being more aggressive that you're going to have bigger losses, and this might happen. But I'm really trying to kind of pull it back a little bit. So maybe the $10,000-$12,000. That was the deepest of my last drawdown. So kind of trying to get back into more moderate pullbacks. Again, bring this back to the deadliest catch. Those of you guys who also watch that show. So think of me right now as one of the boats that during the last, let's just say during the last 6 weeks, there's been a ton of storms. You've been hearing about people going out, but they're not catching a lot. They're having a hard time finding the crab. And so you decided to, kind of hunker down and sit tight. Now, I know realistically, most of the seasons aren't long enough that you could take 6 weeks off, but let's just say it's an open season and you could. So you've decided to stay at the dock. You saved fuel. You didn't have to pay wages and salary. You were able to just kind of shut down for a few weeks. And then when you start to hear that things are getting better, that's when you go out. And the other guys, they're now in the hole from spending the last 6 weeks going into the red, burning fuel, paying wages, repairs, bait, everything else. And so they're down here trying to get back up, and you're just coming out basically with a clean slate. And that's kind of how the month of October is for me. I didn't make a lot of progress in August or September, but I didn't go into the red. So now I've just been kind of idling at my all-time highs, making a little bit of progress, and now I'm able to open up. So I'm happy with this week. It's definitely a great start to the month. I've now made more this month in 4 days than I made all of last month, and that's just the way it is. You got to come in every day because you never know when the market will pick back up. And so now it's time to put the pedal to the metal. And I did today, absolutely. Now, today's a day where I was actually up about $7,500, and I'm walking away with only $4,800. So I gave back a little bit of my profit, but today felt like the right day to be aggressive. And for me, I wouldn't have been up 7,000 if I hadn't started being aggressive right away. I was right away like, wow, things are taking off. I got to really put the pedal to the metal, get aggressive. I think there's a lot of potential today. And this is where I talk about you're either going to leave money on the table, like I did yesterday on VTVT. Yesterday, I wasn't as aggressive as I could have been. Left money on the table. Today, I pushed it and I gave a little bit back. You're always going to be one or the other. You're never going to be perfectly in and out at exactly the right time. It's just impossible. So let's kind of break it down for today. All right, so today starts like any other day, looking at our gap scanner. So we're going to go to historical time frame, 9:25 a.m. All right, so 9:25 a.m. this morning, I'm watching the scans, and this is what I see. Leading gapper, IAM, but it's only got 5,900 shares of volume. Not sure about it. Second leading gapper in the entire market. The second stock opening or up the most pre-market is VXRT. All right, so I pull it up, VXRT. And I look at it and I say, okay, this one's interesting. I'm a little bit disappointed that it's already pulled back a little bit pre-market. Had a pre-market high of 490, came back to 350, but is now curling back up. And as you can see, just before the bell, it actually squeezed up to a high of $4.48. So my bias on this is obviously to the long side. Where do you guys think would be a good entry on this stock? 450, 490, maybe 420? For me, I got in at the $0.50, anticipating the break of the $0.50. All right, so let's zoom up here. Bunch of trades today. First trades in 9,000 shares, 450. Stepping up to the plate, being aggressive because the market's been hotter. So instead of taking just 6,000, I took 9,000, and immediately, boom, this thing popped right to 470. 1 second later, I'm scalping 20 cents of profit. That's $900 in 1 second. And this was predictable, that this stock with this amount of volume pre-market would squeeze out of the gates, and did it ever. So it pops up to 470, it pulls back, I sell some, and then when I see the strength, I'm like, I'm getting back in at 467. selling a little bit, adding at 490. So now I'm being really aggressive on this. I'm scalping it. Pops up to a high of 525. It pulls back. It then surges back up right here. I'm adding at 540, 550. I'm selling at 570, 570, adding back at 5. Oh, this was a short that I accidentally took. So as of right here, I'm selling the rest at 574. So right here, we get a move from 450 up to a high of $6 in 2 minutes. That right there, I made like $4,000. That was a really solid trade, or maybe it was even more than that. So this was a really nice trade. It's a gap and go setup. I didn't go for a break of pre-market high. I bought a break of the $0.50, which was also a pre-market pivot. All right, so it squeezes up here, it then pulls back, does a micro pullback, as you can see. I took a little scalp on WMLP. This one hit the High-A-Day Momo scanner. Right, where was it? Let's see where this is. Now I can't find it. It was on the scanner here. There it is. So this one hit the scanner, WMLP, jumped in that $0.50 break. 7,000 shares sold, some at 67, 61, 56. Wasn't really the biggest mover. I then get back into VXRT for the break over 6 as it was doing this 1 minute micro pullback. And then I'm scalping this move here up to 619. I add back at 650. I'm selling at 659. So this is where I'm getting in, getting out. I'm clearly being aggressive on this, trading with large size, scalping the move here all the way up to a high of 669. And at this point, I was up on this stock about $6,000. $6,000 profit here. $500 of profit on WMLP, and then I take a trade on YGYI. YGYI was also on our gap scanner this morning. This one right here, gapping up with 43,000 shares of volume. And guess what? They have a headline this morning that's based on a hemp-derived product. And we know how hot cannabis is right now. So this one I jumped into as it was squeezing up. Pre-market high was 850. I jumped in as it broke the pre-market high, a little high at 880 and at 895. And I'm selling on the move up to 950. It hits a high of 980, and on that one I made $1,200. So now I'm up, let's see, $7,700. $7,700. I see the next stock hit the scan, SNOA, and I see it and I'm like, this thing looks good. Boom, I'm jumping in. Jumped in it with 6,000 shares. Jumped in SNOA, 6,000 shares. It was already consolidating here, and as it broke this level, I jump in here at 35, and it hits 39. On this one, I got a little bit of a loss. Biggest loss in the last 2 months. Got in at 35. I tried to sell at 39. I could see there was a hidden seller. I tried to sell in the ask. None of these orders filled, not even one share. There were a lot of hidden sellers. Someone was unloading some size. I don't know. They must have been in from earlier, or I don't know where, but I hit the bid at 202 and 190 and lost $2,200. So I went from being up $7,500 to being up about $5,000. All right, 5,500. And then I took a trade on VXRT, one more trade on this one, and I got in at 635, 638, 639, and I stopped out some of it for profit and the rest as it dropped down to 626 and 597. So now I've got 2 losses in a row and I'm up only $4,500. And I'm like, okay, time to take a breath. Yes, I was just up 7,500, so I've lost 3,000. I've given back not quite half my profits, but I've given back a decent amount of money. I gotta slow down. I pushed it maybe a little too hard. That happens. Pushing it is how I got myself up to 7,000. So I'm not going to feel FOMO. I'm not going to feel regret. I'm not going to try to revenge trade to get myself back up to 7,500. I'm going to be grateful that $4,883 is more than I had 30 minutes ago. It is progress on my account. It is progress on the $1 million challenge. So I took a breath. I was like, okay, you know, I've got 2 losses. If I have a 3rd loss in a row, guess what? I got to walk away because of my rules. If I have 3 back-to-back losses, I'm done for the day. So at this point, I'm like, all right, let's just go really easy. Let's see if anything looks good. And I ended up taking 2 more trades on VXRT, and on those 2 trades making about 300 bucks. So not big profit, but you see it pops up here to 719, it pulls back. I got in there at 718, scalped it up to 23, but it really wasn't a big winner at all. I mean, like 4 cents. So I made like 120 bucks there. Then I got in at 744 right up here for the break of the $0.50. It goes up to 760. I'm selling at 57 and 55 and sell the rest back at 20. So I made like another 180 bucks there. So, you know, $4,883 is good. I'm not going to finish at high of day. I guess I don't think that this would be considered a $3,000 drawdown. When I look at the metrics, I'm not actually 100% sure. Like, to me, when I think about drawdown, I'm thinking about an actual red day. So on a day where, let's say I lost 20,000 and then made 25,000, and I finished the day up 5, is that a drawdown? I'm not really sure. On a day where I make 7,000 but I finish up only 4,800, is that a $3,000 drawdown? I don't think so. To me, it's not. But I'm not sure exactly how it's calculated in TraderView where my metrics are. But in any case, to me, you know, I've got $94,000 in the account as of today. So if I lost money off of that, that's a drawdown. Intraday, to me, doesn't count. So tomorrow I'll have just under 100K in this account. I'm getting close to being able to give myself a paycheck, which will be nice because I haven't taken any money out of this account since, I don't know, June or July. But usually I let it grow up to about 100K, take money out, drop it back down to like 75 or down to 50. In a really hot market, I would leave the full 100K in here so I could take 15 or maybe even 20,000 share positions. I wouldn't need my buying power for it, but notice that VXRT has margin restriction. So that means right now, if I wanted to take 10,000 shares, it's going to take $60,000 of buying power. So I can do that. If I wanted to take 20,000 shares, it would take $120,000 in buying power, and I've got only 94, so I couldn't do it. So if I take out 50 and I've only got $50,000 left, I wouldn't even be able to take 9 or 10,000 shares of the stock, and that could limit my ability to make money. So I want to make sure I keep enough in here that I can trade the way I want to, but not so much in there that I start to get a little complacent or a little sloppy because, you know, I can afford to take losses. SNOA, of course, is things coming back up. The thing I said about this is the only place I would watch it is if it broke over the highs and shows that it's, you know, cleared out those early hidden sellers. But of course, buying up here would be buying a double top. This is a cup formation. We want to let the handle form. That's flagging underneath the highs right here. And then you can buy the break of that cup and handle formation. But I'm going to leave it alone. It's 10:30, 10:45. Going to call it a day. 4,800 bucks. Green is good. We'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. We'll finish up the week strong and hopefully go into the weekend feeling good. All right, so that's it for me. I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. Those of you guys on YouTube or Facebook, leave comments below if you enjoy the video. I'll come back and answer them later this afternoon. All right, thanks, guys. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.